Good evening, friends, brethren, and beta readers. This is my Cradle Catholic Dummy 15th podcast. Last week, following a bunch of protests, had me taking a deep dive, also known as going down rabbit holes. I reflected on Jesus being called the King of the Jews. Some Christians preach that Jesus is the King of Kings, or Christ is King. I never heard these references at Catholic school or found this reference to Jesus in a Baltimore Catechism. Jesus didn't acknowledge the title of King of the Jews. When asked by Pontius Pilate with phrases like, "You have said so," but he did not publicly declare himself as king in a political sense. The title was given to Jesus by the Roman authorities, primarily for his crucifixion, despite some biblical scholars arguing he acknowledged his royal authority in private. I doubt this. What Jesus would keep a secret that he only told to a few. I can go with God as king in the Hebrew Bible, where the concept of God as king emphasizes his supreme authority, sovereignty, and rightful rule over all creation. It is a central theme throughout the Old Testament. When Pilate asked, "Are you the King of the Jews?" Jesus responded, such as, "It is as you say, or you say it," should not be interpreted as an indirect confirmation of the title of king. My CCD honest opinion of Jesus: he was a servant, a doctor, a teacher, a forgiver, a part-time carpenter, a righteous son, a winemaker, a server, and so much more. The opposite of a king. Also, Jesus was not alive when the New Testament was written. The New Testament books were written after his death and resurrection, with the earliest text, the letters of Paul, likely written around 20 years after the horrific crucifixion that set all mankind free. Granted, the Romans placed a sign above Jesus' head at his crucifixion that read, "King of the Jews," but they meant it as a mockery. Jesus' life on earth was not one of political power in the Roman sense, and his indirect answers were likely to prevent being seen as a political revolutionary. He stated that his kingdom was not of this world. Another rabbit hole I went down for this podcast was that the No Kings movement was orchestrated by the 50-51 movement, an American grassroots political organization formed in 2025 to organize protests against the policies and actions of the second Donald Trump administration, President Donald Trump. The name or title 50-50 stands for 50 states, 50 protests, and one movement, which reflects the movement's goal of organizing protests nationwide. Here are some key goals and issues. The movement and its supporters have already protested a wide range of issues, calling out action they believe are authoritarianism and anti-democratic. Their goals include ending billionaire takeovers and rampant corruption. The group has specifically focused on the influence of Elon Musk and other wealthy allies in the Trump administration. Protecting democratic rights. This includes protecting the U.S. Constitution and addressing what they see as executive overreach. Preventing cuts to federal programs. The movement opposes proposed cuts to programs like Medicaid and Social Security. reinstating my DEI initiatives. This group seeks to reverse the rescinding of diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives. They also want to protect minority rights. This includes advocating for the rights of immigrants, the LGBTQ community, and other marginalized groups. Since its formation, the 50-51 movement has organized or participated in several prominent protests, which in my opinion have been peaceful, and I support everyone's rights to free speech. Next week, my podcast will be on whether the Pope should be considered a king. The Pope is the sovereign monarch of Vatican City. His position is unique as he is both a spiritual leader and the head of state. An FYI, as of 2025, the world has 23 monarchies and 18 of them headed by kings. So that's just my thinking of all of this no kings protesting. I do think it's been pretty peaceful, and I'm all for people protesting like that and for protecting the First Amendment. Little plug on my book, currently in the mail. In news, all the atrocities that are going on in Nigeria, the beheading and just killing of Christians is at a pretty rampant state over there now. I wrote this book last year, The Nine Commandments. It does take place in Nigeria, and it talks about this exact problem. I know Donald Trump, President Trump, wanted to send troops to Nigeria, but when President Obama was in office and the Chibok girls were kidnapped, I think there's 270 of them, the president of Nigeria, which was President Goodluck at the time, told them to stay out of their involvement. That's what this book is about. If you want to look up on my website, you can read it. There's a link to download it in a PDF form, or you can buy it on Amazon. So, good night. Thank you. Take care and seek infinite peace through adoration, contrition, thankfulness, and supplication. Thank you.